Good morning, Revive kids. It's Haley and Kenzie with your lesson this morning because Miss Carrie did the adult lesson this morning, so we're filling in for Miss Carrie. So we've got you guys today. Today, we are going to tell you a story about a girl named Esther. All right? Esther, right here, lived over 2,000 years ago. That's a long time. She had lost her mother and father, and so her cousin, Mordecai, here's Mordecai, we'll call him Morty for short, he had taken her into his family. And Mordecai and Esther were Jewish people, which meant God's people, and they had been sent away from their homeland. They were now living in a place called Persia. Can you say Persia?
Persia.
That was ruled by a king named King Xerxes. Where's King Xerxes? He was looking for a new wife. He ordered that the young ladies in the kingdom come to his palace, and he planned to choose a woman to be his wife. Esther was one of these women, and King Xerxes really liked her and chose her to be his wife. That means that Esther became Queen Esther. See her crown? Mordecai told Esther not to tell anyone that she was Jewish because he was afraid for her safety, so she kept it a secret. One day, a powerful official became very angry and decided that he was going to kill all the Jewish people just because they were different and had different beliefs. Mordecai and all the Jewish people learned of this, and they were very sad. They cried out to God, and they were afraid. But Mordecai came up with a plan. He asked Esther to go to the king and ask him to save the people. But there was one really big problem. No one, not even the queen, was allowed to approach the king and ask to speak to him unless they were invited. And the punishment for approaching the king could even be death. Esther was very afraid to go. But her cousin Mordecai reminded her of this. He said, "Do you think that you will escape the palace when all of the Jewish people are killed? If you keep quiet at a time like this, then surely you'll die anyway. But what if God placed you here as queen for such a time as this?" Esther knew that Mordecai was right, and she knew that she had to try to save the people. She asked all of the Jewish people to pray for her and spend time asking God to keep her safe. They prayed for 3 days, and then she put on her best royal clothes, and she entered the king's court and invited him to a fancy banquet. At the banquet, she asked King Xerxes to save her life and the lives of all the Jews. Eventually, King Xerxes decided to grant Esther her wish, and he allowed for the Jewish people to be safe from their enemies and be safe to live in the land. Because Esther and all the Esther and all of the Jewish people were saved. Yay! Remember that it was very hard for Esther to do this. She was very afraid, but she trusted that God would keep her safe. She prayed to God, and she had others pray for her, and God did just that. He saved them. So how can we apply this story to our lives?
I think we can apply the story to our lives by knowing that we need to remember that God has placed us in a situation. Like, it could be hard, but we have to know that God put us here for a reason. Like, if a friend's going through something, maybe he put you there to help out a friend or a family member.
So we remember that maybe God has made us for such a time as this. So the next time that you see a friend who needs help, or maybe a friend that's being bullied, or a brother or sister that needs your help, you can be bold and go for it, and God can help you to do big things. So your homework for this week, we want you to draw a picture of you helping someone else and being brave. Do you want to tell them about your picture?
Yes. So for my picture, this happened the other night, actually. My friend Elaine and her brother George came over to play, and her brother George, he fell off his bike and hurt his leg. So I went and got some Band-Aids and a little medical kit, and we helped him fix it up.
So you weren't scared of all that blood? You were brave?
Yes.
You were bold and brave. Okay, so we want you to make a picture of you doing something brave for a friend or helping someone, and then we want you to send it either to our Thrive page or to Miss Carrie and share with us what you've done. And then on the back, we want you to write a prayer just asking God to be bold and brave to help others. That's all that we have for you. Have a great week, guys.